Hi Dr. Matthew, my name is Jia Xin and you can call me Jia Xin. Thank you for teaching us this semester and recording so many videos for us. Hope to see you in Sunway as soon as you can go back to the campus. This is a presentation video of my project, Making the Mastermind computer game.
Good afternoon, Dr. Matthew. My name is Jia Xin and my student ID is 17102674. I am currently taking Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. In this subject, CSC1024 Programming Principles, I am required to complete this programming project, which is making the Mastermind computer game. This is an index of all of the contents. Firstly, let me introduce what is Mastermind to you. Mastermind is a code-breaking game for 2 players. Bulls and Cows is the old version of this game which only consists of numbers played using paper and pens. There are 6 different colors of code packs with round heads which will be placed in the large holes on the board. One player tries to guess the code their opponent comes up with, and this is a model of the Mastermind board game in real life. Next, do you know what is the objective of playing Mastermind? With 4 packs and 6 colors, there are 6 to the power of 4, which is also 1296 different patterns allowing duplicate colors. This game requires a lot of brain power to solve it, and by playing it, you can improve your analysis strategy and critical thinking skills. To be a winner, your objective is to solve the opponent's secret code with minimum guesses. There are many mathematicians in the history who demonstrated that a code breaker can actually solve any code in 5 full moves or fewer. So what is your technique? Now, let me show you a brief of how to play the Mastermind game. The first step is, the code maker will select a 4-color code. Mastermind board game have a row of holes set apart at one end of the board, hidden from hinge under a hinge shield. The code maker secretly takes a few color packs and places them in the row of holes, in any order. This is the code that the code breaker will try to guess. The second step is, the code breaker will place his or her first guess. The other player will try to guess what the hidden code is. Sitting on the opposite end of the board, he or she picks up the color packs and places them in the nearest row of large holes. The third step is, the code maker will give feedback. Next to each guess row is a small square with 4 tiny packs. The code maker uses the packs to give clues about how good the guess was. The code maker must be honest. Each white pack means that one of the guess pack is the correct color but in the wrong position. Each red pack means that one of the guess packs is the correct color and both in the correct position. The fourth step is, the code breaker have to figure out the correct code using the feedbacks given by the code maker, and the code breaker should learn through the examples. The fifth step is, repeat with the next row. The code breaker now has a little information. He or she has to think for a while and make a second guess in the next highest row. The sixth step is, the code breaker have to continue until the code is guessed or there are no more guesses left. The code breaker has to use all of the information from all of the previous hints he or she earned until the code is guessed or there are no more guesses left. If he or she manages to guess the complete code in the exactly right order, they will win the game. If he or she fails to guess and fills every row with the packs, the code maker will win instead. The last step is, switch row and play again. If you are playing a 2-person game, turn the board around so a different person invents the code and the other person guesses. This way, everyone gets a chance to play the main part of the game, guessing the code. Now, let me demonstrate to you how to play the Mastermind game. This is an online version of the board game Mastermind game, so that you do not have to carry the board game everywhere, which is heavy, and you can play it alone as the computer will act as the code maker. Welcome to Mastermind. This is a color guessing game. The instructions will be shown to the player before they start the game. The colors in the set are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, which is the color of the rainbow. The program is thinking of a 4-color code, and the player is asked to try to guess what is the program thinking. The player is instructed to input his or her guess like this: OPGB, which is using the first letter of each color only. The player will only have 15 tries and should think carefully before every try. Good luck! If this is your first time playing Mastermind and you need more explanation, please input Y for extra help or enter N if you know how to play the game. Now I will input Y. Firstly, duplicate of colors in a set is allowed. For example, the correct color code might be BBGG, blue, blue, green, green. And remember to only use the first letter of the color. It is important to choose wisely so that the first letter of each color is different, so that there will be no any error in the program, such as blue and black will be hard to differentiate as both start with B. The player will be given some hints. For example, your guess is RRRR. If you have two correct colors in the correct positions, means that there are two R's in the correct color code. It can be RRBB, RBBR, BBRR, BRRB, RBRB, or BRBR. Now, I will start playing the game. My favorite way of playing the game is to check what color is in the correct color code. So, I will try it one by one. So, now it is confirmed that R, O, Y, B is in the correct color code. Then, I will use one of the confirmed wrong color to check the position of the correct color. So now it is confirmed that R is in the first position, and now I will find out where is O position. So now I still only have to find out where is Y. Now it can be confirmed that the correct color code is R, Y, O, and B. You win! You got the correct color code in 10 tries. This is the only way that I can find out the correct code in the fastest way. Now, I am asked, do I want to play again? If I enter N, the program will tell me that, thank you for playing Mastermind. Now, let me demonstrate to you other hidden functions of the Mastermind computer game. First, when you run the game, the instruction will appear. If this is your first time playing Mastermind, you can enter Y for extra help. Next, if you input N, you can start the game and you have to enter your guess. If you input Y, extra help will appear to you. If you enter unknown characters like symbols or numbers, you will be asked to enter the listed alphabets only. If you enter less than 4 letters, it will not pass through. You are required to enter 4 letters only. If the player inputs either capital or small letter, the program will still run. For example, this is using the capital letter and this is using the small letter, and it will result in the same thing. If you can guess the correct code within 15 tries, the program will tell you that you have won and how many tries you have used. This player used 5 tries only. Next, the player can choose whether they want to play another round or not. The program will allow both capital letter and small letter of Y. Moreover, if you fail to guess the correct code in 15 tries, the program will tell you that you have lost and show you the correct code and ask you whether you would like to play another round. The player can input a mix of capital letter or small letter. It will not result in any errors. For example, capital R, small letter R, and capital R the program will still run successfully. Next, the player is only allowed to enter Y or N only when they are asked whether they want to play again or not. If the player enters unknown characters such as other alphabets, symbols, or numbers, the program will ask the player to respond with the correct letter only. The player is allowed to input capital or small letter N. Now, let me show you other functions of the Mastermind computer game. It is important to design an interactive user menu to help users play the Mastermind computer game so that they will understand how the game works. The introduction will tell the player all about the game. All the rules and regulations are listed. If the player needs more help, they can use the Help First function to get more information. Dot upper followed by parentheses, which is this part, is to standardize all of the input to become capital letter. Next, this is a collection which is ordered and changeable. This is also applied when I am designing the Mastermind computer game. Colors is the list of color available in the game. Color code is initially an empty list. Dot append is used to add new items to the back of the into the color code list. This shows that list is changeable and ordered. Computational problems where lists are helpful for problem solving include that it allows the elements to be easily accessed during the checking process. Next, to generate randomized values in Mastermind game, I use the random.choice by importing random from the Python library. Computational problems where randomization is helpful problem solving is to act as the code maker in the real-life game Mastermind. Colors will be generated randomly during every round of the game so that the player will not get bored of the game or figure out any algorithm in the computer game. Next, I apply decision making by using if-else statements. Decision making is needed and important if there is multiple conditions and statements. Python will allow us to check which condition is true and which statements should be executed. Here are some of the examples. Firstly, when the user inputs y, it will be saved into the variable first time. Then, the condition after if is correct, and helper function will be called to display the extra information to the player. Next, if all of the color guessed by the player is in the correct position and color, the win variable will be true and the section will break. Else, if the guess is less than 15 times, feedback function will be called and the player will get some hints and the number of count will add 1. Moreover, one of the situations is that the player enters less than 4 colors or unknown character as the guess, such as symbol or numbers. If the length of the guess is not equal to the length of the color code, which is 4, the player will be asked to enter 4 letters only. Guess I, not in colors, means that if the first character in the player's guess is not in the list of the colors, the if statement condition is true, and the following sentence will be printed. And the variable validate is set to be false and the section will break, and the player will be asked to input again. Lastly, if win is true and the count is 0, then the player is Mastermind. Count has to be set 0 because everything is set starting from 0 in Python. Else, the program prints you win and how many tries the user used. If the user uses more than 15 tries, win will be false and the player loses. The correct color code will be printed. Next, I applied the iterative process by using while loop and for loop in a Mastermind computer game. The while loop iterates while the condition is true and requires a relevant variables to be ready. For example, when continue play is y, the program runs all the conditions after the code. It will continue to loop unless the player's input is n. This is also used to check the validity of the guess input by the player. While the guess is not correct, validate will be set false, and it is needed to create an iterative process in the game. Computational problems such as repeated statements that is determined by using a condition requires an iterative process is helpful for problem solving. For loop is similar to while loop. The for statement iterates over a sequence. The while statement simply loops until a condition is false. By using I in for range parentheses in for, it makes sure that the codes are run through 4 times as there are 4 colors needed in the code. The for loop is essential in ensuring that all 4 colors are checked and not missed out. For loop is used as the number of colors are confirmed, which is 4, and does not need while loop, which iterates according to whether the condition is true or not. For loop is used to append colors randomly to form a color code. Other than that, it is used to check the validity of the input so that every color is checked. You can see that for loop is also used to check whether the color is correct or not one by one. Lastly, applying user-defined function in Mastermind computer game brings many advantages by using sub-program in the game. Feedback is one of the functions used in Mastermind. That function takes two arguments as the input. The function is called by using feedback followed by a parenthesis and placing the argument inside the parenthesis. The feedbacks are printed after the function is called and being shown to the player as hints. The advantages of using function is to decompose complex problems into simple pieces, improve the clarity of codes, and able to reuse codes. Here are some additional information about the code I use. This is used to count the number of tries the player used to guess the correct code. Count is added by 1 after each guess. Moreover, I use print color code during the debug process. It is very useful as I can check whether the hints given are correct or not and whether everything printed correctly. For example, I can check whether "You are a mastermind" is printed or not if the player guesses the correct code in one try only. This allowed me to do so because it is almost impossible for me to guess the correct code in one try only. In conclusion, from the subject CSC1024, I learned so much about Python. I applied all of the knowledge from week 2 to week 11 in the process of making Mastermind game. The programming cycle, which implements think, code, test, debug, and repeat the steps, is very useful. Although I had many errors during the first test since this is my first time learning programming, the program runs successfully after I debugged the program many times. In the future, I hope that I can learn more about Python. I could improve it by adding a give up function by using while loop so that the player can choose to give up if they are fed up with the game. I also can improve the game by enabling the computer to be the code breaker. For example, the player will think of a color code, the computer will have to break the code, and the player will give the computer hints. Thank you! Bye bye!